Hello, friends, and welcome back to Willis Spooky. I'm your host, Soul Rack the Innocent. Tonight, we continue on our quest into the world of the paranormal. I have a few videos lined up that I like to analyze. We're going to see if we can apply some logic to them and debunk them, or see if they truly are paranormal. So, why don't you sit back and relax and enjoy yourselves as we continue on our quest into the world of the paranormal. And let's spooky. Tonight's first video comes from Enough Ocelot 952 from Reddit. Now, if we see this video here, we see two objects that appear to come out of the ground. Both of them are together. Both of them appear to be doing almost exactly the same thing. There is variation. If we can see here when we zoom in a little bit, I don't know. Initially, I thought that this was probably bugs, but I don't think bugs move like this or fly together in unison and almost in choreography. I don't believe that's the case here. So what we are probably looking at here, I would say, would be orbs, some legitimate spiritual activity. But what do you think? Do you think that these things here could be possibly orbs? Or is there a more logical explanation? If you ask me, I think that what we're seeing here is possibly orbs. But let me know what you think. Our next video comes from Paranormal Vids from Twitter. Initially, when I first saw this video, I thought that maybe what we were looking at here could have been possibly an insect that was on top of the screen moving around. But when I look at it more closely, I don't know. There appears to be depth when it comes to the entity that we're seeing, so I don't think that it's actually on the camera per se. And then also the sound. Mind you, the sound can be faked, so, I'm not really relying on that, but the video itself does look intriguing, and I think that maybe because of the depth perception that this is actual footage of a ghost. But what do you think? Ghost or bug? Our next video comes from HenrockXX47 on Reddit. This video here I've seen a lot of people get excited about, but let's analyze it carefully. If we look at it very carefully, especially when we zoom in a little bit, like here, you can see that the likelihood that this is actually either a pair of spiders or just the reflection of a spider crawling up a spider web that's making it look like it's two spiders. But if we see it here in the upcoming slow motion, you can see something that looks like it would be the spider legs crawling up the spider web. So if you ask me, that is what we're seeing here. Nothing more than a spider crawling up a spider web. But what do you think? Do you think this is legitimate orb footage, or do you think that I am correct and that this is just a spider crawling up a spider web? Our next video comes from Background Ad 6785 from Reddit. This video here shows something that, well, people are saying that it's an orb or some sort of spiritual activity. At first I thought, maybe this is some sort of insect, perhaps a bird that got into the theater. But I don't know. Looking at it carefully and looking at it more in slow motion, like we see in the upcoming, I would say that, perhaps this is something paranormal and strange. If we see here in a little bit more of slow motion, it doesn't look like an insect. It doesn't look like it's some sort of bird, and there appear to be more than just one of these objects. So I would say that this here is actually some sort of spiritual footage. But what do you think? Bugs or spirits? Our next video comes from El Alienista Doc from Twitter. I am always fascinated when I see footage of things floating around in the sky like that. Could this be some sort of drone? Like a human drone, I mean. Could it be a drone that's actually on fire? I don't know. Could this be some sort of interdimensional doorway or some sort of gateway? Could this be something human is what I'm trying to figure out. The reality is that I am not sure. I don't think that this would be some sort of human drone. If it's a human drone, it would be emitting a really huge light, and I don't think that any drone like that would want to cast a light, especially if it's trying to do surveillance or if it's trying to do something like that. I don't think that it would be wanting to attract attention that way. That being said, why would, let's say, aliens want to be attracting attention like that? So I don't know. I'll let you decide, because to be honest with you, I am not sure what it is that we're looking at here. This could be human, but it could also be extraterrestrial or spiritual. What do you think? Well, my friends, we reached the halfway point of another video. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and to leave a like to the video. Our next video comes from the dark side of nature from Twitter. Until my very last breath, I will continue to add these animal footages into these paranormal videos in order to illustrate the power that nature actually has. There are things far scarier and far more dangerous in nature than there is in the paranormal world. Here we see a Komodo dragon that is feeding. Now, I'm assuming that this animal was already dead when this creature began to eat it, but just look at how easily it swallows this deer or gazelle or whatever it is. Now, this thing could easily swallow a child, just to make that clear, and these things have been known to attack people, rip off body parts, and actually go after children. Many children go missing when there's a Komodo dragon in the area, so yeah, let us behold the power of nature. It is simply something that I never want to encounter out in the woods. I think that I would run, not pass out, because that would be the death of me, but yeah, run. Oh my God. What would you do? What would you honestly do if you saw one of those things coming at you? Run. Our next video comes from Demon King 2505 from Reddit. This footage here is fascinating. It would appear that these people were just walking in the woods and then they pointed the camera and something decided to stare back at them. Their reaction is very genuine. Would you react this way? I don't think I would. But that being said, I also wouldn't ignore it. But that's just me. How would you react? Would you pretend it doesn't exist and just walk away? Or would you run? Or would you investigate? Our next video comes from Guardian2501 from Twitter. This video here is a quick one, but if we can see it, it clearly is a skit. It was made with poor CGI. It's interesting, but it's not real. People are
Michael, is that you?
Scandalized, but it's not.
It's not Michael.
Our next video comes from D Muerte BDF from Twitter. In this video here, we see what appears to be some sort of dog that was standing there, and then suddenly it just appears to take off into the sky. Now, I have pets, I have animals, and I truly would like to believe that there is life after death even for animals. But how do you explain this video here? Here we have it in slow motion and with a negative filter. and you can see that the thing clearly has a presence there. Like it's there, and then it takes off into the sky. So what exactly are we looking at here? Is the dog being taken into the sky by some unknown force? Or is it what I think it could be, some sort of animal spirit that is present and then decides to just take off? Very fascinating. What do you think? Do animals have an afterlife as well as humans?
Well, my friends, we reached the end of another video. I hope you liked tonight's presentation. There were a few videos that were obviously not real, and others that, can be classified as truly paranormal. But in the end, I will let you decide for yourself. Well, I hope to see you here again next week for another episode of El Spooky. I've been your host, Soul Rack the Innocent. Until next time, bye friends.